Kataksha Kirana Chante Naman Moha Abdhaye Namaha Anantananda Krishnaya Jagan Mangala Murtaye Ahamasmi Sada Bhami Kadachin Nahamapriyaha Brahmaivahamatassidham Satchidananda Lakshanam. So this opening verse, opening means the second verse, unfolds the entire teaching. The teaching is, you are Brahman, Tattvam Asi. Tattvam Asi, that Brahma you are. Now when I say you are that Brahman, that I am Brahman is not known to me. It is not known to me, nor it is knowable. Brahman being Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Brahman is not something, one of the things in the world which I can perceptually objectify and know. And since it is not one of the things in the world, it is myself. It is the very, it is the very existence, Satyam, which I don't confront as an object. I don't confront existence as an object. We only confront objects which exist. Existence as such is not an object. The senses objectify colors and forms, sounds, smells, tastes, forms of touch. Based upon these basic data, I can build a lot of what we say process. We can build certain arguments, reasoning, and thereby can build an even system of reasoning, logic, and then come to more conclusions. And so those conclusions, also inferential knowledge, also that inference cannot objectify Brahman. So I have no way of knowing I am Brahman. Now these words themselves, Tat Tvamasi, you are that Brahman, they also form a means of knowledge. But they do not involve really, they do involve any attempt on my part to know in the sense of perception or inference. We must know certain things clearly. Perception, I objectify through the senses. I am the karta, means I am the subject. I am the person who knows you. You know me now, you are the subject, the knower. You know me through the eyes, you see me. Through the ears, you hear me. Now similarly in inference, you operate inference to know something. Now here, what inference can objectify is an object. What perception can objectify is object. We are now talking about the Brahman, and Brahman is not an object. Why? Because he defines it like that. It is Satyam, it is Jnanam, it is Jnanam. It is not something, it is Anantam Jnanam. It is consciousness not limited by time or space, which always is Satyam. And so you don't objectify consciousness by inference. You don't objectify consciousness by senses. In fact, because of consciousness, you can objectify things. And so, not available for inference or perception, that doesn't mean it is not available for knowledge. This is where the people commit mistakes. When it is said it is beyond mind, they always think that Brahman is beyond mind. Beyond mind, you must transcend your mind to know Brahman. So if you transcend your mind to know Brahman, I don't understand how the fellow is going to know that Brahman. Nor I know, nor I think, how can you transcend your mind? Is it Brahman away from the mind? That you have to transcend your mind? If it is away from your mind, you had it, you cannot know anything about it, number one. And if it is something away from your mind, then it is not the mind. Therefore, Brahman, knowing Brahman is not knowing everything. It is not, Brahman is not non-dual. It doesn't really help anybody. So it is all wrong thinking. So this is again the words, yesterday as I was telling evening, So this go beyond the mind, know Brahman. This is how books are written. And now you always think that you should transcend your mind and get to know Brahman. It is non-thinking. So I also went with that sentence for a long time and say you have to know your mind. It's all mental. We should go beyond mind. Hey, beyond mind, if you go, you can go off the mind. You can go beyond. And so you can go off all right. So the mind is necessary because Brahman, mind is Brahman. The mind, as we will see, mind is Brahman. Mind is not, mind is conscious. That consciousness is Brahman. And therefore, the Shruti, a source of knowledge itself looked upon as a means of knowledge, says you are Brahman. I have nothing to disprove. Why? Because all disproving is possible only when the Shruti makes a statement which is illogical. If the Shruti makes a statement, an illogical statement, I can disprove that it is a wrong statement because it is illogical. Anything illogical is within logic. You must know this well. Any illogical statement is within logic. And therefore, that's why it is illogical. Why it is illogical? Because it's within logic. And so you have made a wrong statement. It is illogical. So any illogical statement is within logic. You can't make a statement illogical and say, what I am saying is above logic. You cannot say that. Above reasoning, you cannot say that. It's above intellect, you cannot say that. Because you are making a statement which is illogical. When I say you are Brahman, it is not illogical. It is not illogical. Why? Because you prove that you are not Brahman, tell me. You prove. Unless you know Brahman, you cannot prove that I am not Brahman. And to know Brahman, you require the very sentence that you are Brahman. So if you have to prove that I am not Brahman, do you know that what is Brahman? If you know what is Brahman, you will not say that I am not Brahman. If you don't know, better know. How do you know? So it is the very teaching itself is a source of knowledge there. And therefore, the whole teaching, without confusing you, the whole teaching is one sentence. The sentence is, that is why it's very simple. The sentence is Tattvam Asi. Tattvam Asi. Asi is a verb. Are, you are. Asi means you are. And that you are very clearly stated. Tvam Asi. Even Asi, if you say it is you are, the verb is enough. Like I am. Means I is involved in it. So here you are. So you are Tvam Asi. You are. When I say you are, suppose I make a statement, you are, and keep quiet. Okay? You are, I keep quiet. Means what? Means what? I want to say things which I better say, which I don't say. Which better it remains unsaid. When I say you are and don't make a statement, then I leave you to imagine a lot. Then you will come up with me. What did you want to say? I know what you want to say. That's how people start. Now why? Because you are when you say, then you create what we call akanksha, expectancy. You are going to ask me what I am. What I am. Suppose I say, you are human. You are a human being, not human. You are a human being. What does it mean? You tell me, what does it mean? It's a statement of fact. But does it produce any new knowledge? Definitely not. And if a fellow says seriously, you are a human being, the context you should see, it is meaningless sentence. But it becomes meaningful. It becomes meaningful when the context is, I want to make a statement here to remind him that he should behave properly as a human being. And therefore I say, you are a human being. Means what? Behave. Behave like a human being. Don't pounce like a tiger. You are not a scorpion to sting. Like this, I want to say something. I remind him, you are a human being. It's a very meaningful sentence in that context. If I really remind him that you are a human being, remember, you are a human being. You are not a dog to bark like this. So thus, if I want to remind him something, then I say, you are a human being. Otherwise, that sentence is meaningless because you know that you are a human being. And this is the minimum knowledge. So you don't require to say you are a human being. Now here, so you are, once it is told, something special is going to be told because the Vedanta, the Shruti, cannot say anything that I know already because that is not its job. Its job is always to tell something that I don't know. By knowing which I can get something also, both. Now here it says, you are that. So that is, it's not that, okay? It is that. So you are that. You are that. That you are. What is that? It can be anything, you know? So that you are. Means what? So that you are. Now I don't want to point out my finger anyway. So that you are, suppose I say, what is that? A wall. You are a wall. My words bounce back to me. You are a wall. I better talk to the wall, not to you. So that you are. That can be anything. And so that you are. So that can be anything. Now therefore we have to find out what is that. That is already said in the whole thing. Why the word that is used there? Because so it remains unknown to me now. And since it is unknown to me, necessarily, so there is a statement in the beginning. So the first, we have to, therefore the word that is used. But then that is only a pronoun standing for something that was already introduced. You know, already introduced. So what is already introduced in the very text is Brahma. Sadeva Somi Idamagra Asit Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. All that was there in the beginning, there is only Brahman, non-dual, Satyam. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. We have seen that. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. That whose nature is existence, whose nature is consciousness, existence consciousness, limitless. And this is Brahman. Okay? And therefore that existence, knowledge, existence, consciousness, and which is limitless, means limitless existence, limitless consciousness, means is all one and the same. The consciousness which is limitless, which always is, which doesn't undergo any change, and that is Brahman. That Brahman you are. This is a statement. This is the whole teaching. And this entire teaching, he says here, now, Brahman is existence, consciousness, limitless. How can I be that Brahman? The fellow asked this question now. How can I be that Brahman? I am limited. That means what? I am limited. I have limited existence. And my knowledge also is very limited. Jnanam is very limited. No. He says that is not true. Ahamasmi. I am. How long I am? He says Sada Ahamasmi. Always I am. Sada Ahamasmi. Then he says Sada Aham Bhami. Sada always Aham Bhami. I am always in the form of consciousness. Aham, the I, never is invariable. In all forms of experience, I is invariable. And then again, all states of experience, I is invariable. And more than that, the I is something that survives death of time. Time disappears. I is, I awareness is. Sada aham bhami, sada aham asmi. And also, I am that limitlessness because I love to be the limitless. Means I love to be free. I love to be free. Why I love to be free? Because that is me. You know, that is me. Otherwise, I am not at home with myself. It's a nice expression in English. So I am not at home with myself. Why I am not at home with myself? Because I am not myself. So whenever I have a sense of inadequacy, dependence, bondage, well, I want to get rid of that. I don't want to have it. When I'm happy, where there is the fullness manifest, I find I am quite at home. Okay? And therefore there is a natural love. There is a natural love for me to be. This one argument is, there is a natural love for me to be always. To be always because nobody wants death. I just love myself. I want to be. Why you want to be? Nobody wants to commit suicide. If anybody wants to commit suicide, that is because he has decided that he won't be happy. And in fact, it's a love for himself. So he wants to be happy. He wants to be and be happy. Now, so if he thinks that there is no way of becoming happy in this life, well, he raises his own hand against himself. But the moment I am able to convince him that there is no reason for his committing suicide, why do you want to commit suicide? As I told you, I lost money. Then all right, money is given to you, no problem, he will live. And, oh, I want to marry this girl, she rejected me. Suppose she comes back and then, or suppose he discovers something else about that girl, and then that she is a gang leader and things like that which he never knew. And so which he never knew, then he feels, my God, God is great, thank God, and all that. And so anyway, so it is only the whole thing should change. So nobody wants to really die. Everybody wants to be. There is a love for myself. I would sacrifice my hand in order to save myself. I would sacrifice my eyes to save myself. I would sacrifice my emotions to save myself. That the love for being is very natural for everyone. Why? Because the self is Ananda. He says the self is something which is fullness. That is why I love myself. Okay? Looking at the mirror, I told you, I love myself. because the self is Ananda. There is a love for myself because that is Ananda. That is one argument he gives. More than that, I will say, there is a love on my part to be free. There is a natural love on my part to be free. Free from dependence, free from unhappiness. It is natural, untaught by anybody. It is not one of those desires which you pick up in your life. So now, you know, your desire for Walkman was not there. So before Walkman was there. So Walkman came, desire for Walkman came, only Walkman came. We were only men walking on the earth, but there was no Walkman with us. But then the Walkman came, desire for Walkman came only when such a thing was available. Okay? Now it's available, only this size is available. You put it in your pocket now. And so you can have, this desire is a cultivated desire. It comes at a given time, but a desire to be happy, to be free from dependence is not something cultivated, picked up by you at any given time, in a given society, okay? In a given society, modern society. The modern society is interested in being happy. There is no such thing. The old society also was interested. In Stone Age also people were interested in the same thing. And so this is something very natural. If it is natural for me to be happy, and I don't, that is the reason why when you are unhappy, I don't congratulate you. When you are happy, I don't console you. I told you before, I don't console a fellow who is happy. And this fellow is really happy, I tell him, sir, this should not happen to you. What? This happiness. Why should you be happy of all people? I will sympathize with the fellow. Why should you be happy of all people? You are such a nice person. You have been helpful to so many people. At the same time, you become happy. Look at this. This is the perversity of this destiny. I can't understand this at all. Why should you be happy? I share my feeling. So thus, if you offer your condolences to a fellow who is happy, and then congratulations to a fellow unhappy, then you will qualify yourself to the special place that we have built for people like you. And then that's because it is natural to expect, understand, therefore, if somebody is happy, well, I can be jealous of that fellow. I cannot say that I sympathize with you. When somebody is unhappy, you can't congratulate because that fellow doesn't want it, nor you want it. And therefore, there is a natural urge to get rid of unhappiness, lack, in other words. There is a natural love to be happy. And therefore, who am I then? I must be that Ananda. That is natural. It is natural to be happy. It is natural to be happy. It is natural for the ice to be cold. You can't say this ice is cold. I don't know why this ice is cold, unless there is another piece of ice which is not cold. And so it is natural for you to be happy. That is the reason why even in our common transactions, so we don't transgress this rule that you're congratulating an unhappy person. So congratulating a happy person perhaps. So and consoling an unhappy person is a natural thing, and people do it. Then you are normal. If you do if you reverse the process, well, then there is something wrong with the person. From that it's clear. Kadachit aham na priyaha. Therefore, sada aham asmi, sada aham bhami, kadachin naham apriyaha. Never I become a source of sorrow, means I always love myself. I don't become an object of hatred. I love myself. Understand? I love myself means the self that is free self. I love the free self that I see whenever I am happy, and therefore I must conclude, I am Sat, I am Chit, I am Ananda. Sat means Sada, see, Sat is arrived at by Sada Aham Asmi. I ever remain. I am forever. Sat. Sada Aham Bhami. I ever remain conscious. Chit. And I am Ananda. There is love for the self, the free self. And so I am Ananda. If this is understood, then he says, Brahman, Tat Brahman, which is defined as Satchidananda Lakshanam Brahma. Satchidanandam, this Satchidanandaha, this Satchidananda are indeed the Lakshana. Lakshana means definition. So, implied definition. The word Satchidananda are the implied defining, are the defining words for which Brahman? Satchidananda Lakshanam. Brahman that is characterized by or revealed by the word Satchidananda, that Brahman, Ataha, therefore I am. Atas Siddham. Siddham means is established. So, is established, that therefore it is established, I am that Brahman. Atas Siddh Brahmaivaham. Brahmayeva. I am indeed Brahman. Brahmaivaham aham I. Eva indeed Brahman. Brahman alone. Brahmaivaham atas Siddham. Satchidananda. Siddham means is established. Satchidananda Lakshanam. That Ataha, you know, that Ataha is there, that therefore brings all these arguments. Because it's not only a simple statement of fact, you are Satchidanandam Brahma. He gives you, how can I not be Satchidanandam Brahma? He says that. How can I not be Satchidanandam Brahma? Why? Because Sada Aham Asmi. I am ever. The I is always there, and therefore it is Sat. And it is always in the form of consciousness, and therefore it is Chit, and it is Ananta. Therefore Sada means Anantam, and it is Sada, it is Chit, and also never I accept a self which is dependent, which is isolated. I never accept an isolated self. I always love the self which is free, and therefore that is me. And therefore he says, Kadachinnaham apriyaha. Therefore Satchidananda Lakshanam yad Brahma, is that Brahman that is known as Satchidananda in the Shruti, that Shruti means in the teaching, and that Brahman I am. First verse, okay? So still we can go on, but there are other verses, so which will explain what I can tell, and so we will proceed and see what's happening. The next verse. Otherwise the camp will end, you know. So we will see. So now here. Mayyevo dedi chidvyomni Jagat Gandharva Pattanam Atoham na katam Brahma Sarvajnam Sarvakaranam. Now, understand this well. So, Tat Tvam Asi. That Brahman you are. The first verse reveals that. Now the question is, I must understand this. I should understand this, I am Brahman, so without any doubt. And there are a lot of objections, one by one. So the entire book now, from now on, is objection raised and met with. Every verse raises an objection or two, and then meets with those objections. Every verse meets with an objection, means answers the objection. And then you conclude, therefore, Tattvamasi. At every stage, one verse is over, then you have to say, yes, therefore, I am Atasiddham Aham Brahma, Satchidananda Lakshanam. That second line, Atasiddham Aham Brahma, Satchidananda Lakshanam, will follow every verse. We will see that later. Now, a big objection here. The objection is, you tell me that I am Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, for which you gave me a logic. The logic is, the I am consciousness, which always is, which is not subject to time, and it is timeless, and it is fullness, and which exactly we love, etc. Therefore, I am Satchidananda. If I am Satchidananda, Brahman is defined as Satchidananda, then I am Brahman. Naturally, since there are no two Satchidanandas, there is only one Satchidanandam Brahma, because Anantam, when you say non, it is limitless. Therefore, limitlessness cannot be two. And I find myself Satchidananda. Therefore, there is only one Satchidananda. And if that is Brahman, that Brahman is I. So it's very clear. Okay, that's clear. Now, Brahman is more than Satchidananda, as we understand in the book. It is not mere Satchidananda. It is something more than Satchidananda. Brahman is more than Satchidananda. Look here. Brahma vida apnoti param tadesha bhyukta satyam jnanam anantam brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam parame vyoman so osnute sarvan kama ansah brahmana vipaschiteti tasmadva ye tasmadatmanah akashas sambhutaha Akashad Vayuhu Vayoho Agnihi Agnehi Apaha Adbyaha Prithvi Prithivyaha Voshadayaha Voshadibyaha Annam Annat Purushaha Sa Savayesha Purushona Rasamaya. Do you know what it is? You don't know? It is said that Brahman, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, this Brahman which is in everybody's heart, the one who knows, he becomes completely free. Okay, good. Then the same text says, from that Brahman, everything has come. From Brahman is born space and time. From Brahman is born Vayuhu, air. From Brahman is born fire. From Brahman is born water. From Brahman is born earth. From Brahman is born everything else. You see, all these are born of Brahman. That means Brahman is space. Brahman is Vayu. Brahman is Agni, fire. Vayu means air. So Brahman is earth, and earth-born trees are Brahman, and tree and the plants born food is Brahman. The food-born body is Brahman. Food-born body it is. And so the parents' food and all that, so the food that was taken by the parents, so he is responsible for the creation of this body. A dead body cannot create another dead body. Therefore, it was food that was responsible. The body that is there, the father's body, mother's body is nothing but food pack it is. And therefore, so this also, and so this body is born of food alone and sustained by food. And once this body dies, it goes back to food all right. Anyway, and therefore the food also is Brahman, food is Brahman, and the body born of food is Brahman, and everything is Brahman. And thus Brahman is looked upon as the cause, Karanam. Brahman, now look, this Brahman, Tat Brahma, that Brahman, that Brahma is Brahman, is Karanam, Jagat Karanam, is the cause, this cause for the world. Everything for the world. The world is not a good word, Jagat Karanam. Brahman is the cause for the entire world, the entire universe, physical, and if there is something inside, senses, mind, for the whole thing, the astral bodies, all gods that may be there, all phenomenal forces, all laws, all of them, for all these, Karanam is, cause is Brahman. If all these are caused by Brahman, look, if all these are caused by Brahman, the Brahman becomes, so the Brahman becomes not an ordinary cause, Brahman becomes all-knowing cause. For creation presupposes knowledge. This is where you can understand that statement, in the beginning there was word. Word means knowledge. In the beginning there was knowledge of what? What is going to come? What is going to be produced? So in the beginning there was knowledge, and that knowledge, word means knowledge, that knowledge was with God. With God means with the cause, and the cause is Brahman, and the knowledge was with God. Therefore Brahman is God, because it is said Brahman is the cause of everything that is here. That means, so that Brahman, which we understood as consciousness, so the Brahman, the Chit, Jnanam, Chit, consciousness, that Brahman, which is Sat also, Sat and Chit, this Brahman, Ananda, so this Brahman, Satchidananda, consciousness Brahman, if that is the cause for which is revealed as Satchidanandam in the very scripture, is said to be, by the same scripture, is said to be the cause for the entire creation here, all that is here. If it is a cause for the entire creation, then necessarily, so it must be all-knowing, inasmuch as the creation presupposes knowledge. So without knowledge, you cannot create something. Even a modern painter, so who doesn't really mean painting anything particular, he just throws, he just comes there, he has got varieties, he just throws the paint, so colored paint he throws, and then afterwards, so he gives the title. Now, but then he, at least that fellow knows what he is doing. If you throw, you will find, you don't find that something he brings about there. There is a way of throwing, that is the art. The way in which you throw, the way in which you throw, and that brings the art naturally. And so he has got a way of throwing it. That is a trick about the whole thing. And so he throws so many times, only 10 times he throws, not 11th time. And so he has got a certain way about it. And he knows, even that guy who doesn't seem to know what he's going to create, but he knows something will happen there, and he knows what to throw. He doesn't throw water. And he knows what to throw, where to throw also. So he doesn't throw all these paints on the face of somebody. So he knows where to throw, so what to throw, when to throw, everything he knows. So even including a modern artist, so knows something before the creation. Okay? Before the creation he has got knowledge, including the modern artist. So this is an important thing to know. And so, if this is so knowledge presupposes creation. Means creation presupposes knowledge. That's what I say. So creation presupposes knowledge. And necessarily, therefore, so if the Brahman is presented by the very teaching as the cause for the entire creation, that Brahman must be omniscient. Must be all knowledge. What is all knowledge? All knowledge is all knowledge of all that is. Knowledge of all that is here in the creation. And therefore that Brahman must be all knowledge, because all that is going to come, that Brahman should know, and also Brahman should know itself also. So if it is self-ignorance, it's a problem. And so Brahman should know itself, and also should know Brahman, should be all-knowing, should know everything. If this is so, Brahman is omniscient. Brahman becomes omniscient. Therefore, in the beginning there was knowledge, word, and the word was with Brahman, God, and that word was God. Do you know what? That knowledge cannot be apart from Chit consciousness, that is Brahman. Because knowledge has to abide only in consciousness. Ignorance also should have its locus in consciousness, not elsewhere. Brahman also must have its locus in consciousness, not else. I mean, the knowledge also should have in consciousness alone its location, and therefore, so in the beginning there was word, knowledge, and the knowledge was with God, Brahman, and the knowledge was non-separate from God. Knowledge was God. Therefore, the Satchidatma itself is omniscient Brahman. Satchid Brahma, Satchidanandam Brahma is omniscient Brahman. And therefore, if Brahman is omniscient, means it is all knowledge, all knowing. And all knowing Sarvajñam. It is called Sarvajñam. Sarvajñam Brahma. Sarvakaranam Brahma. Karanam means what? Cause. Sarvakaranam Brahma. It is a cause for everything. And it is therefore it is something that is omniscient. If that is so, Brahman being the cause of everything and being omniscient, how can I be that Brahman? Why? I am only Satchidananda. I am not omniscient. Okay? I am Satchidananda. That is okay. What is the use of being Satchidananda? I don't create anything. What do I create? Nothing. My power of creation is all limited. And again, the power of creation itself is not created by me. That is another thing. I didn't come here and create a power of creation. I find I have this threefold Shakti. Threefold Shakti. Understand this well. Threefold Shakti. We will use this later more. I have got threefold Shakti. The Shakti is threefold. Shakti means power. Shakti is power. What kind of power? Everyone has got this. Threefold powers. But these powers are not created by me. They are given to me. What are these powers? One is power of knowing. Knowing. Which includes senses, mind, plus, plus memories. All this, because knowing, memory also is important. And therefore in recognizing an object. So memory also forms a part, a role there. Therefore, knowing includes senses, mind, and memory. Then knowing, so desiring. Desiring, this is another capacity. So knowing is Jnana Shakti. Desiring, willing, wishing, well, emotions, etc., loving, etc., all these come under, all emotions come under Ichcha Shakti. Ichcha Shakti. So the power of will and power of desire. Everybody has it. And then thirdly, emotions also come under the same Ichcha Shakti. It's another power. Thirdly, you have the power of Kriya, doing, creating, making, doing, Kriya Shakti. Kriya means action. Then there is the third power of action. To speak, to walk, to make, to unmake, I have got this power of creation. And this, all the three, everyone has got. Who doesn't have it? So all of them, everybody has got. Even an ant has got this. Your aunt has it, and ant has it. All these three powers. Now, the question is, these three powers you are endowed with. It is not that you created any power. You didn't create any power. So, I am Satchidanandam, I may be Satchidananda, but definitely not Sarvajnam, omniscient. I am not omniscient. In fact, I don't know what is in my body first. I don't know my own physical body, what all things in the anatomy, I don't know at all. Only doctors tell me, even doctors do not know much. So they know a little bit, but they don't know much. Still their research is on. It is on, and it will be on forever. Because, so nobody knows much about this body. So I do not know even my own body. Why I don't even know what is my own mind? I go to a psychoanalyst and then ask him, what is my mind? He analyzes me and tells me, this is what you have got. Oh, thank you. So I pay for that also. So, and then his own problems he can project on me. Or anyway, he has got the methods, the tools of analyzing. I don't have the tools of analyzing. And therefore, so I ask him, and I seek his help, because I don't know even my own mind. I cannot predict what is going to happen to me later. And I cannot predict all the things that I undertake, so become successful, I don't know. And therefore, I find that I am limited in my knowledge. When I want to cross the road, so I know I want to cross the road. I have got ichcha, I have got desire, I know what knowledge I have got how to cross the road. I have got a desire to cross the road, and I am crossing the road action. Jnanam, ichcha, kriya. Means how to cross the road I know. That what is the road I know. How to cross the road for which what I should do I know. Then I want to cross the road. It is a desire. Mere knowledge is not enough. So desire is there to cross the road. So I want to cross the road. Desire is there. Then I cross the road. Kriya is there, action is there. Will I cross the road? Will I cross the road? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. You may. You may. Probably you will. Why? Because you find there is always one fellow who didn't cross the road. Every day we see in the newspaper. So he wanted to cross the road, got hit by a truck. So got hit by another fellow. So again there is a problem. All right, if you get hit, at least hit by a Toyota, not by a truck. So there again luck, there is again bad luck and good luck is there. And so, all right, and therefore, so there is that how I'm going, I may get hit, and by what vehicle, I don't know. So how I'm going to hit, or nothing may hit, I may fall down. I may just fall down, I slip my step because I've stepped on something, and then I fall down. So then I fall down, and my head hits, the good part of it, whatever part that is there. So it hits the ground, and then I have concussion or whatever. I am in the hospital. Then I come back. It takes 6 months, and I come back. Well, like an innocent baby. Now again I have to start all over. Everything I have to remember. So like this, lot of cases I have seen, and so every day we find the reports in the newspaper. Remember therefore, these three Shaktis I have got, themselves are given to me, not created by me, and I find that knowledge Shakti I have got, knowledge is limited. Kriya Shakti I have got, action is limited. And the power of desire I have got, then again, it is limited. In fact, suppose God were to come to you straight right now, and then ask you, what do you want? Tell me quickly, what do you want? You will scratch your head. Because all that you want now is donut, nothing else. Because, and therefore, so you, and now you do not know. So what? You can't say, come on, give me cereals, coffee and all that. So you can't ask him, God asking us, eh? So what will you say right now? Suppose he says, come and tell me what you want. You don't know what to ask. You can't ask him straight away. Even desire has got its own, we have got limitations. So in our desire, Ichcha Shakti means fulfilling the desire, etc. We find there is so much of limitation. Even to desire, we don't know what to desire. That's our problem. There's a problem. You ask children, you will understand. Hey, all of us had this kind of desire. So in India, what exactly, a child is asked in those days. So and as I was growing up in the village, so what do you want to become? That fellow will say, I want to become an engine driver, steam engine driver, railway engineer. So I want to become an engine driver. It's a great accomplishment. That's what he thought. Because it was very nice to see the engine driver, he travels from place to place. So he goes all over, it's very nice. So that is the great ambition. And now, then afterwards when you grow up, then you become a pilot. Then you want to become a pilot. And still you grow up, you want to become a fighter pilot, not this commercial plane. So taking all these people. No, I want to become a fighter pilot. There's more adventure. And so all desires, we have funny desires. Ask children even here, they will say, I want to become a spaceman. I want to become what is that? An astronaut. An astronaut. Something adventurous. So people, always the children want varieties, even we don't know. Even after growing up, I don't know whether we have really picked up right desires. It's a problem. Anyway, so Icha Shakti is there, but our Ichas are funny. Then Kriya Shakti is there, but our actions are very limited. And therefore, whereas the Lord, Brahman, which is Karanam, Sarvajnam, Sarva Karanam, which is omniscient and which is omnipotent, and which is the cause for everything. I am not omniscient, I am not omnipotent, plus I am not the cause for anything. I am not the cause for anything. Even I cannot cause confusion. Because to cause confusion also there must be a world to cause confusion. And there must be a mind to get confused. And so that mind is not created by me, and the world is not created by me. Therefore, even I cannot cause confusion. So, I am not the author of anything. I am only Satchidananda Atma. And so, which is Satchidanandam Brahma, if you say, that is okay, I accept, I am Ahamasmi, Sadaham Bhami, Kadachin Apriyaha. Therefore, I am Satchidananda, clean. But then how can I be the cause for the entire world? I am not the cause for anything. I can't even claim the child is mine. Why? Because the father says, the mother says child is mine, the father says child is mine. So I cannot, nobody has got a complete claim over anything. And therefore, so what, in fact the child says this is me. He doesn't say, in fact the child says you are my dad. I am not your child, you are my dad. So it's a confusion there also. Because that below is complete. It is not like your hand, We always think children are like our own, it's my child. Like my hand, my hand. If it is my hand, I can do something. I ask my right hand, come on, lift. It lifts. Go down, go down. Come on. Both the hands, both of you come. Then do namaste, namaste. It is all possible. Like that, this is my child. Come on, get up. Come on, get up. That fellow sits there. Come on, chant. Swami has come on, chant. Will you please chant? This problem I always face. So wherever I go, the Swamiji, my son has learnt this Shuklam brother. Come on, they tell, hey, come on, chant. To chant, come on. For Swamiji, please come on, chant. I think this problem is international problem. It is not something in any place. It is always, if you ask, the fellow won't. Then afterwards, when the Swami goes away, the guest goes away, he will start Shuklam Varadaram Vishnu. You get angry. I told you, then why don't you tell that then? Why didn't you tell? That is, why? Because it is not your hand. That fellow is a complete fellow. there is Satchidananda, number one. He is Satchidananda. Plus he has got a body of his own, plus a set of senses of his own, plus a mind of his own. And that fellow is a complete Purna Purusha. He is a complete guy. And even though he is this much, I tell you he is a complete guy. And therefore, and he asserts his freedom from babyhood, he asserts his freedom. If the mom goes away, where do you go? Come here, lift me, do this. Otherwise the fellow cries so much. My God, this crying is the greatest thing that God has given to these children, So, otherwise, you will go to movies, you will go to all these places, and you will not look at the child. Yeah. The child that God has given that weapon, I say, carry this one weapon. And when you are young, use it more. When you grow up old, use it less. But use it. People use. And so anyway, so this crying is a real great weapon. And thus the fellow the baby wants to have that freedom. Love for freedom starts with birth pangs, Then itself the child baby now says, enough, I had enough here, come on, get me out. And so that fellow begins to kick and things like that, want to get out of the whole situation. And so thus you find the love for freedom starts before delivery. And afterwards it's always love for that freedom. Well, therefore, so what the powers that I am endowed with are very limited. My knowledge is very limited. I cannot say this is my child, even I cannot say. This is my dad, I cannot say, because there is somebody else who says this is my husband, this is my brother, this is my uncle. And somebody else says this is my son. Another fellow says this is my grandson. So like this, you have different people claiming the same body differently. So all seem to have a claim over that body. So nothing I can say as mine. In this situation, how can I say I am the cause for the entire creation? I didn't create anything. My own child, if I am not the total author, then what to talk of all the mosquitoes and bugs and things like that, and cockroaches and hundreds of things that are there in the world? What did I create? What stars did I create? So what planets I created? Nothing. Nothing. So even this physical body is not mine because it is created and given to me. I don't know what it is all about, how it came about. Even my parents don't know. If they have got a complete say over this body and mind, they would have made a pakka, a real one they would have made, exactly as they want. Then afterwards, once the child is born, then they see what the child is, how the child is, with all the birthmarks and whatnot. Well, you find. So nobody has any claim over anything as the owner or the author. And therefore, how can I be that Brahman which is Sarvajnam Sarvakaranam? Katam aham Brahma. He asked the question, Katam aham Brahma? Katam, how? Aham, I. Brahman, which is Brahman. What is that Brahman? Sarvajnam Sarvakaranam. Satchidanandam. Sarvajnam Sarvakaranam. Which is Satchidananda Lakshanam, all right. At the same time, it is omniscient and omnipotent, cause for everything. I am nobody. I am only Satchidananda. Therefore, the equation is wrong. Just because you can't say, so I am a human being. The President of America, Mr. Reagan, also is a human being. Therefore, you are Reagan, you are President. No, you are a human being. No, that fellow is the President of the country. I am the citizen of the country. I am an immigrant in the country, and he is President of the country. He can blast the whole world. Sarvajnam, Sarvakaranam. He is Sarvajna, he is omniscient. Because he has got intelligence department, the other countries do not know what is happening in their own countries. This fellow knows with that CIA and all that, definitely They know better. He knows better. He's Sarvajna. He's got intelligence. His antennaes are all over. His tentacles are all over. And therefore, so he has more information about all countries. So than the fellows who rule the countries, So he has got so much information. He is all-knowing and also he is all-pervasive. He is all-pervasive. And he has got tremendous power. He can create, he can blast also. He is Srishti Sthiti Laya Karta. He can destroy, he can create, he can sustain, he can give donation, he can say, all right, so many $1 million to this country give, and to that country give. Thus he can go on, he can spend, he can as he likes. He is such a huge fellow, big fellow. Where am I? Well, he is also a human being. I am also a human being. We are all equal. What equal? Some are more equal than others. And so, and therefore, so you can't say he and myself are equal. How can we are equal? Say we are human beings, all right. But then he is the president of the country, I am the citizen of the country. To say that you are a human being, he is a human being, Satchidananda Lakshanam, 2 hands, 2 legs and a head, and therefore both of you are identical. Not at all. Not at all. He is the ruler, I am the ruled. He is omniscient, Brahman is omniscient, Jagat Karanam. It's not only Satchidananda plus something, and I am just Satchidananda with a limited power given to me. He is the giver, I am the taker. Understand? I am the beggar, he is the master. I am the servant, he is the master. He has got all the laws under his control, and I am under the laws. If I touch a live wire, I am finished. God can touch live wire, no problem. And so that is why, see, God wears all those snakes. You see that? Snakes, why? Because nothing really bothers him. So all the snakes, all the power, snake stands for power. All powers are his ornaments, whereas I am under the powers of the world. Powers that be, they seem to control me. I have no control over. I can only sit on the fault, but then and I pray that it will not happen. I can sit on the fault and pray it will not, the earth will continue to simply murmur, not blow, not burst, only murmur, small murmur. I don't mind. That is nice to have a nice rocking, So it's nice. So it reminds you of your babyhood, just to get rocked a little bit. And so it's nice. But then I don't want to, make her yawn, I just want to make her, I don't mind her making murmurs. Thus, I can only pray, understand? I can only pray, but not do anything. Prayers have to be answered by that Brahman, the omniscient and omnipotent Brahman, Sarva Karanam, Jagat Karta. He is the Karta, he is the maker. So I can only pray to him. And I am a nobody. And how can I say that I am Brahman? One way, yes. Like I say, human being, Reagan, I am also a human being, yes. We are identical, yes. But then he is the president, he is in the White House. I am in the Black House. And so he is in the White House. How can I be Reagan? How can I be the president? So there is no identity. Therefore, now look, Brahman is Brahman. I am what I am. There are certain similar features are there. I may be a part of Brahman, I am not Brahman. It is silly to say I am Brahman because I am also have certain similar features. Samanya Lakshanas are there, like even all are human beings, true. All of us are human beings, that is all fine. But that doesn't mean, therefore, all human beings are identical, which is not true. They are identical, will have a lot of problems. You don't know who is father, who is mother, who is daughter, who is child, who is husband, who is wife. There will be a lot of problems because all look the same. All look the same. How are you going to distinguish one from the other? You have to mark the fellows. But they are not the same. They are not the same. Each one is different from the other. One is better placed than the other. One has got better opportunities than the other. One fellow is born in a slum. One fellow was born with silver spoon. Another with golden spoon. The third fellow is not born with any plastic spoon also. So we find that different types of people are there. All are equal. It is all nonsense, because all are equal. We are all equal human beings. And then this fellow is very happy. The one who says that, he goes, like communist dictator. And that fellow, he says, we are all equal. It is a government of the people, by the people, to the people, for the people. All that he tells everybody. And he goes he has got a big house, he has got a big car, and he is very comfortable, and he is the one. And other fellows, so they have to simply live by his words. We are all equal. There is no equality in any country. And thus 5 fingers, this is what he said. 5 fingers are not of the same length. Each one is different. Similarly, you find all different. The cells in the liver are definitely different from the cells in the brain. They must be different. Otherwise, the brain cells will be like liver. Therefore, so then you will only digest food. Nothing else will happen. And so the brain cells must be brain cells. And the liver cells must be liver cells. They are different. And thus, even though all of them are cells, all right, there is a difference. In everything there is difference. This is how the creation is. When that is so, Brahman is omniscient and I am limited. There is something common, cells, if you say. Each one has got the status of cell, all right. That is called Samanya, universal. But there is Vishesha. There is something, there is Vishesha. This is what they call Vishishta, Advaita. So there is Vishesha is there. So Lord is Satchidananda, I am Satchidananda, but at the same time Lord is omniscient, He is omnipotent, I am nothing but simple Satchidananda, endowed with a body, mind, and I am a nobody. Therefore, we are different. Then how can I ever be free? I should be always an individual. Maximum I can only pray. Therefore, I should be a devotee. That's why, once I was passing through in an airport, and this one fellow came to me. He gave me a Gita book. You know who gives that? Gita as it is. You know Gita as it is? So you tell me how that Gita should be. Suppose the title is Gita as it is. You just tell me. So how that book should be? Gita as it is. That is the title. What should be the content of the book? Gita. And how it should be? As it is means what? Only verses must be there. Only Gita verses must be there. Devanagari. That too old Devanagari, not now. Now modern Devanagari, modern script is little different from the old script. So the old script Gita as it is, available in palm leaves, and that alone should be printed there. That is called Gita as it is. Idiots do not know how to even give a title to a book. Gita as it is. Leave alone what is written there. But then this fellow Gita as it is, he writes, he gives a lousy translation and an atrocious commentary. And he says, Gita as it is. He wants me to follow that. This is all silly. Now that fellow gives me this book Gita as it is. When I see that Gita as it is, first thing comes to me is laughter. Then I said, you want to sell that book to me? And then I said, okay, thank you, I said, and moved. And that fellow said, he asked me, to which sampradaya you belong? These are all tricks. That's how people condition. Which sampradaya? Sampradaya means one tradition. It's called sampradaya. And he says, to which sampradaya you belong? This fellow is conditioned to say that we belong to Advaita sampradaya. These fellows belong to Maya sampradaya. Like this, it's called conditioning. This is a conditioning. You say that we belong to another sampradaya. This is how you create divisions. You say that we belong to this sampradaya, means this particular tradition, where God is God, you are, world is world, everything is different. That fellow belongs to Maya sampradaya. He says everything Maya, there is no difference and all that. He belongs to another sampradaya. Thus you condition people like that. I say a man one is a seeker. He doesn't belong to any sampradaya. I don't say I have a sampradaya. I say I have a tradition of teaching. I don't say I belong to Advaita sampradaya. No, I don't say that. There is no such thing Advaita sampradaya. There is only sampradaya. There is a method of teaching. There is a teaching and you should go by that. There is a book is available. The source of knowledge is there and you see it as it is. So you study and see what it is there. You will find that what we are talking is what is there. And again, by knowing, this fellow comes and tells me in the airport, he says, you are not, when I told him I don't want this, I just thank you, I said, and moved away. And he asked me, to which sampradaya you belong? I didn't say anything. Then he says, oh, you are not Ishvara. He says, you are not God. He tells me this. Everybody knows that anyway. Who doesn't know it? Who doesn't know I am not God? Who doesn't know? Tell me. Everybody knows. Everybody knows I am not God. So you have to define God. Unless you define God as 5 feet 7 inches. Having this parentage, born in this particular place, and he is so many years old, and all that if you say, then it's okay, I am God, I can understand. But then if you say that this fellow, you are not God, everybody knows. If you define God as omniscient and cause for everything, who doesn't know that I am not God? Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. This fellow tells me, you are not God, because this is the problem. The problem is, I am Satchidananda, Brahman is Satchidananda, but Brahman is the cause for the creation, whereas I am not. I am not cause for creation. I am caused. I have got one body, one mind. It is caused, I am caused. Therefore, how can I be Brahman, which is Jagat Karanam, omniscient? Understand? All that I am talking now is objection. It is not answer. So we don't get confused. What is this? Swamiji is talking something different. And so, this is an objection that I am Brahman, Tattvamasi, that you are Brahman, is now objected. How can I be Brahman? Brahman is the cause for everything. I am not. How can I be Brahman? Therefore, I am not Brahman. Hare Krishna. Okay. We'll meet later.